Hey everybody, welcome. We're midweek here on Going Optimal, and time is playing games with all of our heads, it seems. Nobody agrees it should be Wednesday. What day it should be is open to debate, but I think we all agree this isn't actually Wednesday. In any case, I put it to chat for a vote today. We're going to do Zendikar Rising Premier. That's best of one. That is ranked. That means as an above 50% player, the matchmaking will be looking at rank in a way that pushes my win rate towards 50% because I'll be playing against other players at my rank. And that tends to push people towards that 50%. It's a good tool for design. And it's understandable that, you do that in your aspirational queue as well. This is the place where Wizards wants you to go and prove your mettle at Zendikar Rising Draft or whatever the current draft format is and earn your way in rank. And I'm never too worried about rank. I'm worried about getting as much limited as I can get in for my money, for my value, for my time. I don't actually spend money anymore. I spend time. So now I want to make sure that my magic time is being spent in the best way possible, because that's the currency that's being asked most of me, and I've really been enjoying it. I like having the best of one option, the best of three option, streaming with you all. It's great, and I've really been having a good time with this set too. I think it's a deep one. Maybe there's some color pairs that aren't. We'll talk about that as we start drafting. I touched on Boros yesterday for one of the first times for me. Not that it wasn't a good archetype, I just never found myself in it, and then finally did yesterday. We had some success. And going to look to explore some additional archetypes today. Maybe, we're getting that place in the format where I'm not going to pass the blue-green kicker deck if the table is forcing it to me, but I will look for some opportunities to explore some stuff maybe we haven't done yet, take some hits to our win percentage in the process, potentially. But I also like doing that in best of one better, so that best of three, I feel more like I want to play to the maximum, but here we can explore some archetypes a little bit and see how deep this format really goes. And if you want to explore any archetypes that you haven't explored yet in your constructed game, you might want to check out my sponsor, cardkingdom.com. They're going to be an archetypical place to get your Magic cards, and they're going to have everything you need there for your tabletop game, whether you're into vintage or whether you're into standard and everything in between. They got you covered. Popper, cube, maybe you're making a cube. If you like bling, Card Kingdom, their inventory is so great that as someone who does have a blingy cube, I also go to them first for my cube needs. Whenever I have some new piece of new hot card that I want in my cube and I want in foil, they're the first place I go because they almost always have what I'm looking for. And if they don't, they also have a great wish list system so that I can they can let me know as soon as it comes in, and then I can pop it into my old cart. And because of that, I also keep a pretty high balance of store credit with Card Kingdom. I like doing that. I try to sell back my standard cards to them if I'm not selling them to the public. I do some card selling of my own, but often Card Kingdom's buy prices are so good that I end up selling directly to them, because it's not worth my time to sell it on the open market when Card Kingdom is giving me as much as they will for the card. So keep that in mind. I'm a secondary market actor, and I still sell to Card Kingdom because often it's simply the correct value play for me. That says something. So please keep them in mind for all of your Magic needs, and remember that if you get there via my affiliate link, they know you got there from here for the next 2 weeks. So you can just use my affiliate link and know that all your activity there will be associated with my stream and help keep me on the air. So thank you all for your support. Thank you, Card Kingdom, for their support, and a reminder to my YouTube friends to push that algorithm and give me a like and make a friendly comment or whatever. All that interaction helps me find my audience. There's people out there who don't know they're Going Optimal fans, and you can help me find them with your recommendations and your liking and all that stuff, even if you don't have cash to throw around. So appreciate that. And let's get into draft view. What do we got? Ooh, Balmy Rare. So this is also a powerful design tool. I want to call out, I'm curious, how many people, when you see Nighthawk Scavenger, do you know this is a throwback or not? Is this a new card to you, or is this a throwback? Yes or no? You know, like to you, do you know it as a throwback, or is this a brand new card for you? No, if it's a brand new card to you. Yes, if it's a throwback to you. This is a powerful tool because this is a throwback card to the card Vampire Nighthawk. It was a powerful uncommon in the original Zendikar. It was a 2/3 flying death touch lifelink for 1 black, and it was the #1 first pick of the set. It was uncommon. This is basically at its baseline a tiny bit worse, but at its potential a lot better, and at rare. I love this Deadly Alliance. I'm just going to let the pick wind down and take it. We're absolutely going to start here, but anyway, this is it's a powerful design tool to both appeal to the players who know what this is from, to appeal to the players who know Vampire Nighthawk, but also for those you don't know, it becomes a conversation you can have with an experienced player, like that you didn't know this was Vampire Nighthawk upgraded or whatever, and then the experienced players get to talk to you about that and talk about the history of the game. You know, when you got a 25-year-old game and new players, you know, there's a lot of history that's not known, and these become dual wheel, you know, kind of a double-edged positive way sword for design, where you get to throw back for the old players, but teach some history to the new players, etc., etc. Now, Infiltrator here, like this is a rogue. This is a great rogue. Like starting on these 2 rogues seems great. We'll probably wheel the Mind Carver. Mind Carver is not super important to people. Might wheel the Sky Dancer. Both of these would be appealing wheels here, but I am going to absolutely take the Infiltrator and see if we can't land in rogues. I'll take it. Vanquish is a good way to stay there. Diviner, not really what we want in a rogues deck, and neither is Shadowcat. This is more of a green-black plant with all the +1/+1 counter stuff going on, but Vanquish is fine here. Not much to wheel. We're best of 1, so I don't need this negate. I would guess I would play an Expedition Diviner if there was, you know, in some cases, but you don't really want it in a rogues deck, but we'll take that. Passing a second Arbor Mage. I'm coming up on Arbor Mage. It's done a lot of work. I mean, Lure can just win games, so, and it's a weird, you know, one of those weird creature types in green, so it matters that it's a wizard, and it matters that it sometimes wins you games. I think here we want Subtle Strike, looking to wheel a Duelist or a Blood Beckoning. I love Blood Beckoning, but you only want like at most 2, and you can on a power level, this is a very high power level. On a priority level, it's not a high priority because at common, I really just want 1 to 2 copies, and we can wait on that. Whereas I would play 3 copies of Subtle Strike in a low to the ground aggro rogues deck. So let's take Subtle Strike here, see if we can wheel that other rogue, or see if we're supposed to be in something else. I mean, I don't want to marry where we're at here. We only have the 1 blue card. And Subtle Strike, Nighthawk Scavenger, and Vanquish are all fine. So if blue is being cut off, if rogues isn't really there, we could pass that. But I also think like Molten Blast is good, but there's nothing here that's so like Blade Master is a bit of an appeal, right? Like this is somewhat signaling. You can build around this, but this is really a Boros card. You know, this is really a Warriors equipment card. So. Yeah, I can't find anything here that would pull me away from where we've started, but I'm trying to be open to the idea that we're not actually blue. But here we have an interesting spot. We have a Duelist that can keep us on the Infiltrator rogue plan. Marauding Blight Priest is arbitrarily playable in a black deck, but not good. Rabid Bite's the best card here. But I think I would rather be, with this start, I'm enough enamored, like I really want to head this direction. I don't think black-green is all that strong. It's not bad, but I am willing to push towards rogues. I'm not going to propose to this Duelist on a beach in Hawaii, but I am going to ask for a 4th date here. It's Fool. It's so pick by pick dependent, right? Like it depends on the strength of what I'd be pivoting for. Like right last pack, there just wasn't anything good enough to justify taking over the Duelist. So it's not about what pick number it is that defines that. It's about the context of what you have so far, the opportunity cost of taking the thing that's on color versus the opportunity cost of taking the thing that's not. And this is kind of crazy because Royal Mage is far and away the better card than the Duelist. But if we are doing the lowdown rogues thing, we really just want Duelists. You think we take Royal Mage anyway? What are we getting back? Like a Subtle Strike, Vanquish? Chat still likes the Royal Mage. That's true. I mean, it's far and away the better card. So I'll take it, but I may come... I don't know. We'll see, chat. Like, if this deck does what we want, we're going to want several of these. But Squid is actually a good pickup here, too. I consider where we're headed to be kind of the aggressive rogues build. Unfortunately, we did not wheel the Carver. So we did not see exactly what we wanted out of the wheel of that last pack. I think we're locked in now. We can take a Baloth in case we just get hard. I guess, like, Deliberate just isn't a card, whereas Baloth is. I'm going to take the thing that's a card. Deliberate, I don't like it much at all. I think it's a great example of true filler, where this format is powerful enough and fast enough that I think if you are, and I don't think, maybe I should take the Spellcraft again in case we somehow get forced towards red. I guess we'll take that. But I just don't want to be running this. It's not what I want to be doing on 2. It's not a bad top deck, right? Like, when you got 8 mana, Deliberate is a nice top deck, because you basically get the best of 3 instead. But I really hope to not play it, because it's really not what I want to be doing on 2. I'm going to assume we're still rogues, but we can remember that this stuff is in here. Well, this helps with the rogues plan in the sense of being a powerful effect on a land. We've got a Skulker. We would love to wheel. A Field Research would be nice. This Deadly Alliance would be a nice pickup too, but Mimic is fine. It's actively good. Let's make another Scavenger, etc. Or let's play a land because we didn't have any in our opener. That's what's so powerful. And again, we're going to take Rogue Land. Sure thing, Mama. Mama on the sleeves. Tempest lands for Ashley. Another flip land, but I think we want a Bubble Snare more. I like this interaction over the Death Toucher on the ground, but wouldn't mind that one either. Like, hopefully we wheel some of these Skulkers. I want some Skulkers here, but not passing Bubble Snare. Really, Haj wants the Skulker. Can't do it, Haj. I hear you, but I'm gonna take the kind of stops anything card. But I will pick up this Skulker and be quite happy about it. Yeah, Haj. They're both removal, but Skulker is removal that can be removed, and it's not removal for flyers. Not that Bubble Snare can't be removed, it's just a little harder to remove than... Alright, well this is a toughie. Lots to take here. I would love to snap up this pack and solve it later. I don't think we want the Disruption. We want another Skulker, or a Royal Mage, or even the Beckoning here. With at pack 2, I think I don't want the Beckoning. And Royal Mage is powerful, but I want to lean into the rogues, so we're going to take this. More Skulking. Got a Cleric Vial, but we're not clerics. I'm happy to get all these Skulkers, though. Let's skulk our way. Someone's going to be taunting their opponent pretty hard. And pick 7 here. We could take an Anti-Cog, but our 2s are looking great. Let's stay on the aggro path. Take a Sky Dancer here. Yeah, we don't really have a payoff, except for Sure-Footed Infiltrator. But at the same time, I mean, Expedition Skulker is just a good card, right? Like we are taking good cards. Mind Drain versus Cunning Geyser Mage is an interesting one here, but I think I'm going to go with Geyser Mage because I would play multiples of these. But that's true. Like Mind Drain, yeah, Mind Drain does enough work. I'm going to assume we'll get some payoffs. I like the... okay, here's the Skulker or the Field Research. I think we have enough Skulkers now. I'm taking the Field Research. Let's take some card draw. Or we can take more Skulking. If we feel we're that aggro, maybe we don't want card draw, but even an aggro deck can use card draw to like get there to refill. You want to keep going on the Skulker train? All right. I think we want some card draw, though. Wouldn't mind that. I was torn on those two. Yeah, exactly. The Mind Drain does the thing, right? It puts 3 cards in Oppo's graveyard, but we're not, besides Scavenger, we're not really leveraging that for any great value yet. That's what I'm saying. But we're trying to find our way there. Rabid Bite still here is something. I don't think we are wizardry enough to bother with a Chilling Trap. The Land Rogue, thanks. Yeah, that's true. The Land Rogue cares. Look at this. Nonsense. I mean, maybe we're supposed to take Glacial Grasp? We'll get more. This is only pack 2, don't worry. I don't mind a couple of Royal Mages here in the deck. I mind this fly bugging me, though. All right, what do we got here? Another on-color rare, but this one's not for us. Could be a plunder situation, could be a squid situation, could be an anti-cog. Oh. Ugh. I guess this is a curve top and plunder, but again, you don't need plunder that much because of the presence of the draw, the draw 2 kicker. Yeah, super weak pack. Maybe just squid. Anti-cog says Jinx. Yeah, we could rare draft here. I don't feel the need to rare draft. But yeah, I will by example. You know, we don't need to on this account because we have plenty of gems, but this is absolutely a rare draft pick. There was nothing good there. So take gems. Like if you are someone who finds yourself running out of gems and are in a draft like this, perfect rare drafting point, either for collection building, gem acquisition, etc. This rare we will take for gems and because it's awesome. And it really works with what we're doing. You know, we're trying to be tempo aggro, although tempo aggro, we could use some Into the Royals. How about Into the Royal? Nope, not this pack anyway. Another Plunder Tunity. I guess we're in plundering. We're plundering here over this stuff. We could take Shell Shield, but Or yeah, Silencer. I barely see the Silencer. I tried it early on and it felt quite bad. Here's another place to really just rare draft. I'm not playing Mucklord. I don't need a Blight Priest. We're full on 3s. We're nice on 2s, nice on 3s. Let's just take gems. Bubble Snare or Wizard Land. Wizard Land is tempting, but we didn't get the black removal suite that I generally like to see when I'm black, so I'm going to take another removal spell. Wind Robber is kind of what we're doing, although, again, not real. Like, we didn't get the super duper payoffs that make this exciting to me, which are basically things that increase its power. That being said, we'll take it over Pack Beast and Squid. Pack Beast is, it's not really a payoff. This is medium at best without something to do to increase its power, I think. Sackability is powerful. I mean, it's what makes it playable. The fact that it can replace itself is certainly what makes it playable. Another Duelist for Lowdown or Mind Drain. Yeah, I think 1 Mind Drain, 2 Duelists over 2 Duelists, 1 or 2 Mind Drain, 1 Duelist. Continuing. Oh, there's a subtle strike. That's some more interaction we can think about. Here's the anti-cog we can take on the wheel instead of first picked, and here's a mind drain we can add to the pile too. So we got choices now. I don't think the shield is going to be good enough to make the cut in this deck. $28 cards. We got a few of the spell lands. We're going to be a 16, you know, not actually 16 land, but if this were a format without splans, it would be a 16 land deck, I think. So that's what I'm talking about. It'll probably be a 17er when you take lands plus land spells into account. Actually getting some grind there. That's interesting. I'm gonna make a note of that. And we're clearly going to be blue-black. And 0, 100, 20 on the grind. I agree with that math. We just didn't get any payoffs. I think we found the right lane. And if the final 8 packs of this draft, you know, the third pack that everybody opened, if it had just had rogue payoffs, maybe we would have got there. Or note that we did not wheel that Carver. It's just possible somebody else got into rogues and cut off our stuff that was in those packs. Either way, it is not a very exciting deck, but it certainly has some tools to get there. One thing I feel it's missing is I never did find a spot to take a double raise dead, the kicker raise dead, and I think that would be really valuable to get our scavenger back. But really we are leaning pretty heavily here on Stalker, Infiltrator, Scavenger to close out Shade. Like these are, how do we win? I guess this is our long game. How we win a long game, I see as these 5. Let me get into this view too. Yeah, we can even, that's fair. Jinx wants to add in more beef. Let's also look at our totals. We have 18 creatures as it is. I don't know if this is more helpful than this. And by the time Stalker is activating, we're probably at a parity point where it doesn't matter too much to me that we've reduced the cost of the Stalker by 1. I hear you. But that's all it's doing, right? Are we getting anything else out of party stuff? We can cut Deliberate. I don't like that. Also, let me count. Anyway, we have... $17, $18, $19 total. I'm going to cut 1 of each basic. So now we have 2 more cuts. That Shade can haunt me all day long. If it's going to do it on my team. Like 1 mind drain down, and then could even just get rid of the squid at this point. Yeah, squid or anti-cog. But anti-cog, it is worth it, I think. This deck is going to get to 8 mana, and then this is going to be a counter target creature spell, and that's just good. Jinx says, I do not think I will ever match Ryan on Shade, just has done nothing for me. Let me correct that for you, Jinx. I do not think I will ever match the entire Magic community on Shade, just has done nothing for me. Fixed. Yeah, I like squid out. And then we have a nice 17-8. That's a good split here. Mirage on the lands. Okay. And let's... Oh, here, I gotta do this to get any of this action. Sword sleeves. Oh, is this not... Oh, this must be on not on my main account. I must not have switched accounts. Sorry, gang. Mama, or... Yeah, this looks like... Wait. I might be on a different account than I thought, in which case we'll just keep running with it, but this looks like the sleeves we got, Mama. Okay, a refund. I want my swords. But you even get a free one, Mama. You can still choose. It might just be a case where we happen to have 4 of a card, right? Not like this account has a ton of, like, huge collection built up. It was just happens to be those 4. And then we're getting Mirage lands here. Love that island. 8-9. 9-8 black. I think we want 9-8 blue. All right. Yeah, I don't deny that shade is bad in the quadrant of behind. If you're behind and you draw the shade, you're just like, well, that doesn't help. So it's not a perfect card, but it is so dominant in the other quadrants that I think it is a legit bomb. And what are we calling this? We're rogues. We've got 4 skulkers, so we got to do something about skulking. Maybe we're going to make a skull pun. Skulk candy. Skulk Smash is also good. Yeah, let's do that. Haven't been impressed by the Infiltrator. Well, you need to get, you need to get control. This is also a 2-3 for 4 on the back foot isn't going to be very impressive. But if you can get on the front foot, then you're sure-footed. East improves on my name idea, but I like Skulk Smash even better. That's true. Infiltrators have a job. Let's go on. Let's get going. Let's pull this. Don't know if I turn my system sound volume up. I'll get to that in a bit here. So my own sound is a little low. There we go. All right, we got audio. It just was a little silent there. All right. We'll keep this. I think we hold the duelist. Interesting. Given the sure-footed infiltrator, are we holding the duel? Because we can go 1, 2, 3, 4 right on out. Or we can go 2, 3, 4 duelist as a surprise. But if we don't do duelist now, we're basically doing duelist on turn 5. Is that where we want it, or do we just want to get going with it? I think we want this on turn 5. Yeah. Just talking it through. Sometimes you're like, especially if you're in a deck that does have the Carver, you could make an argument for it, and especially if you had it in hand, but we don't. So we'll, in fact, I'm going to disguise duelist presence by not even playing an island. That's a great point, says Jinx. One of the problems with it on 1 is that it can't mill. Here, I'm going to go ahead and just play out our Skulker and know that we have a Subtle Strike to take out the guide, but we'll wait. And next turn we have like Duelist and Subtle Strike. Could be quite a blowout-y turn. Still probably just want to play the Rogue. We can save the Strike and the Duelist for after we curve out on our 3 and 4. This, of course, assumes we draw a basic land or some other land to play. And now maybe we have an alternative plan for Subtle Strike. There is some risk to letting things like the Gloom Hunter sit around when you do have the straight kill right in your hand. Yeah, Math doesn't want to take the risk. Math wants to just do it right now, right? I hear you, Math. I'm taking a calculated risk here. I'm going to keep curving out on creatures. I'm going to start with an attack with Skulker, of course. I don't think they ever block, but... the risk is they do something like maybe a Subtle Strike of their own, some piece of equipment, something that brings the Gloom Hunter out of Subtle Strike range, and then we're sad that we didn't kill the Gloom Hunter when we had the chance. I think ultimately we can still manage that situation, though, and especially because, like, if we can't block it, for example, like if we don't answer this and it gets bigger, and suddenly we're taking a 4-point life swing in the air because they put a counter on it, made it a 2-2. That could be a really tough game to win, where Subtle Strike no longer saves us, no longer has any interaction. We can't block it in the air, right? So there is just this small risk that the Gloom Hunter gets a counter on it and starts getting out of hand. Right. I mean, it's unlikely enough that I don't think it's correct to play the strike there. I think we curve out and build our board. Well, Subtle Strike itself. They could have their own strike. The thing is, if they do, they might not want to use it just to put a counter on their Gloom Hunter. They've got a shade of their own as well. That's funny. We're going to have to just hope Jinx is right. Or get our own. Still going to go for land, send... And then we have lots of action if they block, and we have the sure-footed Infiltrator if they don't. All right, so now we get to kill the Gloom Hunter and put a counter on the Skulker to win both sides of this. Or we could... Yeah, I'm going to do the strike. Coffee wants the Duelist. I like the strike because it actually increases the power of one of our creatures too, and it's a 2-for-1 spot. Duelist would be a 1-for-1, but Subtle Strike is a legit 2-for-1 here. Let's take it. Wowie. Appa with the bombs. We'll do what we can here, but that's no joke. We have a Death Toucher and a Menace, though, so we can try and race. It's all we got, though. And, you know, I'll take eating the guide. Oh, we can't... Oh, did I do it at the wrong time? Oops, that was bad. Hey, look, this is nice, though. Did I just mistime that? I must have done it after blockers. Or it wasn't unblockable, right? Yeah, I think I just mistimed it. Oops. As it is, we can still send with these two. I mean, you guys decide punts, but those are the punts that I shrug off because it was just a UI punt. It's not something I didn't see. I just failed to have my brain execute the plan mechanically. Those are my least concerning punts. Yeah, you're right. The scavenger could stay alive in in a fight with the tyrant if I had kept the duelist too. But I found it too hard not to try and eat the thing that was coming at me. But you might be right, Haj, that it would be better to wait to try and win battles with the tyrant anyway. Yeah, we could have taken a hit from the tyrant and played the infiltrator. Maybe I should have. I got nervous about the flyer and wanted to get something to square off against it in the sky right away, but we could certainly have taken a hit to get our infiltrator going. Thought it was our other duelist and got excited that I might have another chance. But here we will go with, we can go infiltrator and wind robber. Oppo is not at card draw levels yet here. Yeah, we can. I'm gonna cast this, but I'm remembering my sequencing and have to decide if there's any. I should decide my attacks first. And this can't block. Skulker beats Guide and Bug Catcher, and we'd be happy with a Leyline Tyrant trade. So that's an easy attack. Not going to attack with the Rogue until we've hit the 8, and we're going to leave Scavenger. We could even, I mean, we could attack with Scavenger. Maybe they're the ones that need to block. So I actually think we send both Scavenger and Skulker. Jinx does not like sending the Scavenger. I don't know. You don't like trading for the Leyline Tyrant? Clearing that out, just trading those off, gaining some life. Get him to 9. Oh yeah, I forgot this part. They can take out. They can take out the duelist. Glad I didn't play the wind robber. I don't mind the duelist being gone, but wind robber would have been sad. And we're winning the race. We're just going to take this 6 and make them come up with something to flip this race in their favor. And they might, but I'm going to make them have it. Skulker is a good start. Can trade for our Skulker. Would love to find something that gets us to... I don't think we have it, though. At 5, I don't know what we can draw. If they had kept a card in hand, we could have found the hand disruption, but even that doesn't get us to 8 here. Still, we can make an infiltrator unblockable, and we will do that with our Skulker. And then, don't like sending the Rogue, though, because they double block with Guide and Skulker and get our Rogue before it's nice and big. And so maybe we leave this Skulker up to block, use this Rogue to make the infiltrator unblockable, and swing with everything else. So let's do that. Well, you like sending in the Rogue. Maybe I'm being too cautious with them at 9, Haj, but I'm going to go with the line I just described. Thank you for the sub. A lot of cocky, kind of just, I don't know. I found chat to be pretty tiring in some of the streams I watched last night. Maybe immature is the way to put it. Like, I'm not going to get into names. There's no use in that. Cocky is a slang term for acting acting as though you are smarter, better, and wiser than you actually are, you know? That you're boisterous and got it all figured out. Arrogance is a good way to put it. Jinx. A lot of arrogance out there. Whereas I feel like mostly my chat is willing to believe we might not have all the answers. No, streamer was fine. There are some streamers I like better than others too. And again, not going to get into names, but I just think some communities out there are not as awesome as mine. So Wind Robber is going to get us to 8. Can we just win? Let's see if we let's see. They've got this requires 2 to block. This can't block. I still don't think I want to send the rogue when it's going to be where we want it in a turn. So I'm going to do the same thing that I did last time. We have a new Skulker in hand as well. Pause here. What's Oppo got to explain this pause? I guess there's a sneaking guide that could technically... So a sneaking guide could cause a pause for Oppo. We don't know if they've got anything in hand. I don't want to put this rogue at risk because it's about to be like one of our win con. It's about to be a 5-3 menace. And I'm looking forward to having that on the attack. I don't think that's cocky, D. I think that's just fact. It's not cocky if you can back it up. Bubble Snare. Perfect answer for our friend, the Skyclave Shade. I don't think it matters too much at this point, but I will go ahead and use that. Why bother? I don't know. It's best of one. There's something very pleasing to me, Haj, about putting the right piece of removal on the right bomb. Yeah, that's fair. It was probably incorrect, but I felt we had that in hand. Yeah, but there you go. Hard to deny that it just got me the snap scoop, Haj. So it's okay. You can be wrong sometime, buddy. It's also not cocky when you're plainly joking. Haj knows. Oh yeah, what account am I on? Did we find out? Okay, this is on the paid account. That's why we had cool sleeves. I couldn't figure it out because my main side account has like no sleeves. Now, my main account has lots of sleeves. Our side account number 1 has like no sleeves. That's funny. Here we are on our paid account. Okay, so it goes. Point is, for a paid account, we're sure not paying much. Come on, Streamlabs. I did type the D. You gonna put it in there? No? Jeez. Oh, well, I didn't kick it, but true here. I'm still getting used to all my new memes, but this is a delayed response. Tiny bubble, make me happy. All right. someday there'll be some card art of a red spell burning up somebody's home, and we can do a burning down the house meme or something. All right. I want to see, this is fine. This is fine. Needs a little help to be great. But it's got all you could ask for out of an opener. That'd be blowing down the house. Well, well, well. We're going to vanquish the weak ASAP. We can attack first, though. They're never blocking, and we'll trade 2 for 1 with the Seagate Banneret. We can if people want. I mean, it's anonymous, so I can do a poll if you want, if we're curious here. This is an age poll, and I'm going to put numbers in as your response, and your response should be I am younger than number, and you pick the lowest number that you can choose, still being younger than. What are you younger than? Sorry, Oppo, we'll get there. Let's see. We're flooding out a bit now, but we'll play the land we got. Send in. Do we mind drain here? I guess we mind drain here. It's not exactly where you want to be mind draining. I wouldn't mind this trade either. That's fine. Yeah, mind drain, but I'm not going to bubble snare a banneret. Seems like a lot of people in their 30s and 40s around here with some 20s and teens and one youngin'. Well, there you go. This may be why I feel other stream chats are a little immature. Welcome, olds. We can still be on the internets. Can't even kick the snare here. Needs a second blue. So gonna play a swamp and pass. And we can at least single blue this Skitter Sneak next turn. Hey, you already missed my, you might have missed my soapbox on the wonders of plums, you know. I'm going to talk about insurance next. Well, that's a pretty good pickup. It's going to be a 3/3, and we can kind of do it all. Let's see, 6 mana. Yeah, we get it all here. We can snare the Sneak, Scavenge, and hold up Subtle. How to manage day-to-day aches and pains. Me too, Fenor. Italian plums. I go into my two-week harvest mode. It's the one time I'm a little farmer. So, I am going to, like, the Banneret doesn't have the mana to pump. The Banneret itself didn't attack. The Heart Protector that trades with the Scavenger is attacking. I'm gonna believe them and block and try for the Subtle Strike play. There's risk here. They have 2 cards in open mana, but I believe, I feel that based on their behavior, this is going to work. And if it doesn't, I'm going to tip my cap and say, well played, you duped me. Yeah, we could strike first and then decide. That's fair. Sometimes it can be hard to figure out which order you're supposed to do that in. But we're going to minus and plus here. But if they had paired tactics, they would have sent the Banneret. That's kind of my point. Which is what I said I would have tipped the cap. Like, if you were setting up a paired tactics by not sending the Seagate Banneret, I'm going to give that to you. Yeah, this is a great top deck. We want the Shade, gets through everything they've got going there, and... yeah, we'll take the Wind Robber over the Skulker on the ground, I think. Let's just keep going in the air. Oh, we get 3. Never mind, we get 3. So let's take all 3 action spells. I was thinking, I don't know why I was thinking I got 2. Is there something where we've... Oh, is the blood... The black card is one where I end up with 2 of those, right? I think I was just thinking about the black card draw. That's true. Could have gotten land. I went greed. I would rather have the resources here, given that we're on a 24 to 13 lead with a Scavenger they're not answering. Any reason to play any of this stuff out first? No, so I'm just going to send. And we can play this and kick this, right? So let's just kick the Shade. I guess I could have played Skulker too, but I'd rather have the Flyer. 1 in the air as opposed to 2 on the ground. Sure, you can have a kicker meme there. Anti-Cog is nice. Should stop a lot of what they can do. They're keeping back Flyers, but presumably to threaten to block the Wind Robber. But actually, they can't, you know, this is a must block here. Merfolk Wind Robber doesn't get us a card yet, so I'm not going to send the Wind Robber, because they can just block with the Raptor. They might have something here. And because they have a block on the ground, it's not like this is a must block. They could block this if they wanted. Sorry, record's correct. We're 1-0, right? So we abyssed him, and as soon as we draw a land, we get to do it again. Jinx, I mean... Seafloor Stalker looking real good here. I'm going to send first, though. Right on Harmonize, and a reminder that I have made 0 of the memes. I have concepted many of the memes. I have workshopped many of the memes with my awesome, talented viewers, but I did not do the actual, you know, premier editing work on any of it. But you know it becomes a 5-3, right, Jinx? I mean, we didn't have a 3-1. We had a 5-3. It's just hard to outclass a 5-3. I mean, yeah, if you can get a 6 toughness creature and I've got no tricks to get through it, all right, you got me. The card's not very good, but you're having to find, you know... How many memes have I made? I don't know what you mean, East. I just said 0. Are you actually asking me how many memes are available to me? I literally just said that, East. I said that I've concepted, workshopped, and yeah, my son made some, but I didn't. I mean, you said me. My son made those. How many do we have total? Oh, funny thing, Hat, you like this? I had to mute. We have a Peter Gabriel 2-part meme for flooding using the song "Here Comes the Flood" that Hat made. It's a 2-parter. But yesterday I played part 1 and part 2 back to back so perfectly that it tripped the copyright. It tripped the copyright stuff on YouTube, and I had to reprocess my my article. I know, my video. I just didn't think that I would be able to time it that right, time it that well. How early in the draft is it okay to pick up Seafloor Stalker? That's interesting. Again, I think when you think about early, late, like, I think that's maybe thinking about it slightly the wrong way. Not, I just want to answer the question because, you know, we played a Seafloor Stalker and it was going to be good for us there. Seafloor Stalker, 2/3 with activated +1, +0, and can't be blocked. So it can really close out games. And that's what I want to get to. A big part of my drafting philosophy and where should I take this and when should I take this type stuff comes down to a job-based mentality. You got to think about the 23-ish spells you're putting in your deck as individual employees that you're hiring for your new company. Your deck is your new company, and in order to have it function properly, you have to make sure all the jobs a deck needs are covered. And so when I look at Seafloor Stalker, I want to ask myself what its job is, and then ask myself how much my deck needs that job. So in this case, to me, I think first it's a curve filler. Here's the things it does. At 2/3 for 3, it can be played on played on curve, and you can throw it on some blocks and try to trade with 3/2s, trade with aggro. So it does have some just baseline application as a 2/3 for 3. Then its real job, though, I think, is to have a win condition. You know, that you can close out games with this. If your deck's plan is to stall and get into a long game, get into attrition battle, trade resources with your opponent, and draw extra resources of your own until you've got this solid lead. And then once you have that solid board lead and you're stable, your Seafloor Stalker just it's inevitability. It does the job of inevitability, and for me, that's its main job. And then it has this side gig of being a rogue where that matters. Are you a rogue's deck where you literally want as many rogues as you can get? Are you in a blue-white party deck where you need a spread of all 4 and it's a fine rogue to include because it does even, it's the cost of making it +1 and unblockable is affected by party, right? So it's also, it can have it still has the same job in a party deck. It just does the job better in a party deck. And so all of these things combine to define when you should take it. And that's why I can't tell you just off the cuff, oh, you take Seafloor Stalker around 6th or whatever. You take it when your deck needs that job done, and it's the best card in the pack given those factors. And I think that does, but to get to your point, I think you're asking, is this card better than I think it is? Should I be taking it higher? And the answer is probably yeah. Like, I think it's a very good card, and I think it does an important job in Limited, which is provides a closer at common. Inevitability at common is not common. And these small unblockables can seem underwhelming or not that important until suddenly you realize you have 3 turns to deal with it or you are dead. And then you realize it is important. So I think it's a fine pick. It's a good card. Yeah, it's tough to know, Jikerman, where people should be drawing copyright lines, but... you got it. Just had to finish my talk on that. Here's your meme. Let me get back to this view. Part 2 of Flood called for. We will say goodbye to flesh and blood. It's a priority to have inevitability in your decks that are going long, Rude, or the ability to close in your tempo deck. Like for us, we're not really trying to go long with it as much as close when our initial tempo rush of rogues has gotten them to 8 or whatever. Yeah, we don't really know. It's a handful of seconds. Let's get back in. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Is it optimal to buy a pack with gold when it's a daily deal? Only if you value collection building to that. I never buy packs. There's almost no... Like, if they put packs in the store for 20 gems, or, 25, 30 gems, then sure I would, because then it's like a break-even deal. But if you don't... I'm fine to steadily, slowly collection build. I don't feel the need to put resources into acquiring... We're going to keep this. Acquiring that kind of... Yeah, I don't chase that kind of deal because it's still more valuable to me. It's even more like my gold and gems are even more valuable to me as bling shopping than that. Skulker here. Now we have Duelist with Subtle Strike up next turn. We could even mimic the Skulker if we wanted. Seems like a poor choice though. We're gonna save this till we get a better creature. Duelist, Subtle Strike could get the Bug Catcher next turn. We'll try and do that. We're going to go with attacking with a Skulker right now, no problem. Yeah, if you play some Constructed and are looking to get, if you are excited about building your collection in the new set, and, if you're someone who buys packs in the store anyway because you want to build your collection faster, then sure. So they are not even bothering. That's interesting. I mean, I'm fine to not play anything there for them to not attack. And now I just like sending it. Well, the trouble is, yeah, we can send in still. The Duelist plus Subtle Strike is still quite a blowout here if they do any kind of blocking. And often people play around one thing but not two. And this is a case where the beauty is in the 2. They didn't fall for that though, so now we're just gonna kick the snare and lock down this champ. So plan A, if they block, mess them up with this. Plan B, snare down their big one. Now Oppo needs to decide if they're racing or not. I would expect they think they are. Yeah. Interesting. What does this do even? Create a 1/1 white core creature token. You may attach an equipment you control to it. They just made the token. -2, look at top 6, reveal warrior equipment and find them and deal damage. So equipment planeswalker. We assume Oppo is not dumb and is actually running equipment in here. That makes me want to Subtle Strike away the warrior, put a counter on the Skulker, and hit Nahiri for a good chunk. And then have potentially... and then play the rogue. Looks good to me.
You're making a mistake.
Nice that this rogue has menace as well, and backed up by these two should be able to control Nahiri well enough. Yeah, I like cloning the land rogue. They're not anywhere near 8 in the yard here, but... too bad. We were going to copy that. But hey, we've got a Vanquish here. Maybe we're supposed to mimic. We don't have the tools to mimic and Vanquish here on the same turn. I do think we... you just want to Vanquish the bug and swing. I'm not going to mimic, so let's Vanquish then. And then they're going to... yeah, we can just swing at Walker before doing anything, because they're not going to block with the bug catcher. They're going to block with the token, and... I'm just talking it through, Media. I was... oh yeah, they were never going to double block. Double block doesn't kill, so I don't see why they would do that. The reason to glass pool the Skulker would only be that it gives us another way to try and get at Nahiri if we think that's important. Oh yeah, if they have exactly hazards, I suppose. Yeah, so vanquishing before... yeah, we could also just drop another Skulk now and save Vanquish Duelist for next turn. Yeah, I think we do need to add creatures to the board. This is a pretty sad Mimic, I agree. Like, making a bear with your 3-drop rare Mimic card isn't the best, but they give each other Death Touch, and we can even drop down a Duelist as well at end of turn if we think that's going to help us get through. But I do think we want to try to get rid of Nahiri here. At least right now, we're containing her to the point that she needs to keep plussing to protect herself, but she is completely distracting us from our task. Well, Techno Bobble, I think Nahiri is being decent right now, even by distracting us. Now, Duelist is going to be great for any Blade Master blocks. I'm going to hold the Duelist and have Vanquish plus Duelist for next combat. Anti-Cog, interesting as well, but we can't play all 3 of these. But we're still going to send in now and let them make blocks before we decide how to Duelist and Vanquish. It means that we're not going to affect Nahiri's loyalty this turn, but I hope we affect their board... their board state, and ideally we do this by vanquishing and holding up Anti-Cog, although Anti-Cog's not going to do it here either. They got so much mana in their Boros deck, we're never countering anything with this right now anyway. So really we're looking to vanquish and duel. And yeah, they're just chumping, and oh, this isn't a chump, but we do get the Duelist to beat Blade Master, so that's good. And then we can hold up Vanquish. and maybe anti-cog in some crazy world where where anti-cog counters something next turn. Kicked Eruption can't be countered. This is a creature counter. This is why it's pretty limiting. It's not a very good counter spell unless you're pretty sure you're going to get them to 8. They have 3 cards in graveyard now. Woohoo!
We will survive this crisis.
Well, if this mana goes for something that taps him out, we could get him for that. Oh, so close, so close. Look at that. They have exactly the 2. Well, maybe they'll attack with the Hasty Boy. Nope. We're going to Vanquish then, and Vanquish the biggest. Hope we find something for this, but we could be on the road to a loss here. Although we do have 2 Death Touchers, that's nice. We could even... No use sending in the Duelist. But we will send Nahiri and continue to try and control the Planeswalker. At some point, it starts to dig for stuff and does become a problem. And Skydancer does help with it, though. They have no flying defense, so if they don't find anything great with Nahiri in the next turn, we can at least pressure Nahiri with Skydancer. But we start here. Yeah, we're not there yet. But Token doesn't get that done. But we have both of our creatures. We're adding a Skydancer. I think this will be all right. Nahiri still took some loyalty hit. And Bugcatcher's not very good on D, on the back foot, which our opponent is right now. They're at 6 in the yard. We've got a Bubble Snare to tap down their Minotaur, and we don't get left with an anti-cog counter, but we also don't have them at 8, although we're close. But yeah, we're going to snare down Mini.
Tiny bubble, make me happy.
So one question here is whether we're sending the Duelist. If we send the Duelist, we're offering it as a... Like, Skydancer just gets through. We send Skulker and Skulker without the Duelist, they're going to double chump, probably just chump. And if we send with the Duelist, they just get a free eat with the 3rd creature. So the eat is free, so I won't do it. But that's how I work that out. If you're trying to figure out, if you're not sure whether to attack with things, I mean, you just have to run through how you would block if you were them, or just throw up some, and especially when they're cardless, right? Because we know, all right, can't block this. They're gonna block this. They might do this. They might do that. Like, the only reward for sending in the Duelist here is that it stops this from being as effective. But I'm fine with this. I'll make this trade too. So. And now at 8, we get to counter any creature they try for. Nahiri's just giving it up now. Oh, man. Oh, we don't have the anti-cog for it. I wonder if that's going to... We have Death Touch on the ground. This is what... forget who was saying they wanted to take Skulker number 2 over, like, a bubble because Skulker was removal. This is where Skulker is absolutely being great removal for us. That's nice. So, yeah, it's like, no, but at the same time, we actually have our removal lined up. We're still in the lead here, and they need removal. Now, if they come up with a creature, we've got them. Of course, they come up with not a creature. Yeah, they're going for that. I don't know. We have so many more of those Skulkers, and we can do some chumping here. I don't even need to chump now, though. We'll take a one hit from this. But Oppo top decking like a champ. We're top decking like a chump.
Oh, here comes the flood.
I'm still sending the dancer. I'm just gonna be willing to chump with our duelist this time. I'm gonna hold the land. I just wanted to play the meme. I played it because I'm drawing land when I don't want to. Take them down to 10. They take us down to something, you know, 4. Then we play a dancer. We take them to 8 and we can chump. I still think I attack here. They're drawing like quite the champ. But I think we take 1 hit from the Colossus, and we have the Sky Dancer and the Anti-Cog. I'm going to play the land, though, now. Exactly, right? It's a flood if I want spells and find land. And I can cast a 7-drop. Counts as flood to me. One land away from just hard countering that. We were short land earlier. Want some help off the top, though, so we can keep sending the dancers, but no.
We will say goodbye to flesh and blood.
So, obviously we lose to removal if we send a dancer, but we're risking it. I mean, what else do we do? You gotta risk it for the biscuit. Yeah, if we could double block and get a trade, sure, but we didn't even have that. Here's where we draw the rare, and Jinx laughs. Because that would be a terrible top deck, right? Oh, it wouldn't be that bad. We'd chump with a dancer and have a 5/3, so I don't know, it's not even that bad. Scrying here is nice, though. Can we use these 2 creatures to buy enough time? I think we keep both because we just want chumps as we try to take over on the ground. So here's a sudden chump. Here's a chump that draws us a card. It doesn't matter what order. I mean, if we play this and chump draw, we're just going to draw the duelist behind. No, I think we want everything that chumps a Seagate. We're just trying to connect in the air 4 more times. And this and setting up for draws. You'd pitch this? We got to keep both. It does a job that we need right now. Huge risks were taken, but it's all we can do. And we know we're on the verge of losing to Oppo top decks, but we have a plan, and it could work if the cards go our way. This gives us 1... Oh, that's... Let's see... It's all warriors. This only attacks for 2. We can actually take a bug catcher hit. And we can even take a bug catcher hit if they add another creature type. I could play the duelist now, but actually holding off 2 damage of the bug catcher is also good. We play the duelist, shrink the catcher, chump the Colossus, and we don't take any. And Stalker might be the difference then, right? So we get Stalker down, we have a chump for the next sequence, and Stalker gets us there. Boom! Oh yeah! Woo! Good one. Take some risks, play to define and out, and play to it. Yeah, they took out our, well, I mean, in hindsight, Jinx, but the taking out our Death Toucher on the ground did allow them to apply intense pressure with the 7-5. We happened to draw our way out of it, but their line did do a lot of damage to us and made it very tough.
Carry on my wayward son.
Glasspool says we can keep this. Swarm Shambler, I was gonna go Subtle Strike. It's probable. Okay, how greedy to be? We have a bubble snare, so I'm going to be greedy. The thing I'm considering is snapping off the Shambler right now with the Subtle Strike. But I don't think we need to. I don't think they're going to activate the Shambler until the end of our third turn at the soonest. And we could do it in response to that. And if I'm wrong and they put a counter on the Shambler to prevent it from being able to get got with a Subtle Strike, we do have a snare for it. So it's the fact that we have the backup snare that makes me want to go ahead and shade now and have strike available next turn. Wow, you want Royal Mage before shade? I don't see how that's correct. Why would you do it that way, East? And now, this is interesting because I think I'm actually just going to snare the Shambler. And I'm going to use the... I think I'm using the Subtle Strike to get rid of that Blight Blade. Although we could also just send in play Island and recast the Shade. And then even snare the Shambler at that point. So yeah, I'm just going to send in Shade. This is where the Shade is great. Like, whatever. Do what you will. You want to trade your Blight Blade off for my Shade? Bring it. Yeah, I don't even want to do it. They get a bug from snare. Yeah, if we well, they get a bug from Subtle Strike too, right? But we still need to kill this. So to that end, I'm going to pass. They're going to try to put a counter on it, and I will go for the Subtle Strike here. Although the Subtle Strike, it does... Yeah, we can then snare the Blight Blade if we wanted to. I'm going to do it. Again, I don't even really care. The thing is, putting a counter on the Shade doesn't matter much. Yeah... Bubble Snare doesn't make a token. That's interesting. That's a good point. Well, then instead, though, since I'm past the point where I can play the snare, I do like your points, though. So I'm going to Subtle Strike the Blade, put a counter on the Shade, and we will do the snare next turn, either as an end-of-turn play or... yeah, we can hold up Anti-Cog 2. That's fair. Let's let it all happen, and then we have Subtle Strike at the end of turn if we don't have something to anti-cog. Good call, Fanny. You think snare does make a token, by the way? Let's look at that. Yeah, it would. It becomes the target of a spell. So no matter what, they get a token. That being said, I am liking the idea of the blade play here a little better. And Interesting that they're going for the attack. Means they have something they want to tap out for, which means actually the anti-cog could be good. So instead of saving one, I mean, we could strike right now and save a point of damage. But I'm going to take a point of life to give myself the option of strike or anti-cog. So anti-cog can't counter that, so we'll just strike now. And I like that they attack with a Shambler, because that means we just get to single mana snare it, and they don't even get a block out of it. And we had to hold up anti-cog even if we don't find a land. We found a land, which is what we wanted. We want to get to these Royal Mages and Value Town. But we get snare with anti-cog. I guess I should have snared after. Now they have a chump if they want, but I'll take the chump too. I forgot about the creature token though. Looks like I didn't even want to, but I shouldn't have given them the choice. Bad Quench can still get it done here if they go for anything 4 or greater. Creature-wise, can't stop that. Thanks, gang. Hope I didn't punt there while I was on the phone. I have a dental appointment in 2 hours and 10 minutes. My first dental appointment since the pandemic. I don't care about this token attacking. I think that's good for me. We're just gonna, okay, whatever. Cunning Geyser Mage, weaken anti-cog. We'll take that. And 4, 5, 6, 7. We can get him to 2 if we wanted to strike here, but I'd rather just hold the Sky Dancer. Sky Dancer into Subtle Strike onto Sky Dancer is lethal in the air, so we put pressure on him to have an air stop here. Sproutling kicked is going to get back what? We've got Geyser Mage, Waste Reclaiming, but can't get the Blight. Yeah, so this doesn't help. Doesn't help him. Adventure awaits. Death awaits. I just cast it because that tap out meant we win. Right on. Doing quite well with this deck that we all thought was the the rogue deck that didn't get there. You know, I mean, we don't have, like, our best card has helped win a couple of games here in the rare 3-1. But yeah, we were just like, at first I was like, okay, I got to be careful. How are we going to attack? I was like, wait. It's the landfall shade. I just attack. What are you going to do? Trade with it? Please, please, please trade with it. Great start here. We need a second black for the scavenger, but other than that, looking like a fine way to start a Magic game here. Glass pool, also nice. If we can find that swamp and go into glass pool, oh baby. Swamp, I'll take off the top, please. No? Not the worst. At least we get another play. We don't have to just have Subtle Strike is the only thing we can do. I don't want to Mind Drain yet is the thing. There's something to do besides Mind Drain, mainly. Yep, just toss out a bear and call it good. Be happy that Oppo didn't find a 2. Nasty. But we can attack. We got Subtle Strike that would win us a combat if they block. They're never going to block, though. We got 2 Death Touchers. They might decide, okay, I'll just let it split into its component, you know, it's 3/3, because they get something out of it. But if they try that, we're gonna get them. And could play the glass pool out of desperation for land, but I don't think we need to. I really do think we're going to find our swamp, and we'll be really happy to copy the scavenger. So I'm just going to play Skyclave and keep beating. Jinx wants to drain. I want to get my aggro down first, Jinx, then we end with the drain. I'm not in any hurry here on the drain. The drain gets better as their hand approaches 2. All right, we can play that rogue. But now might be a time to drain. Although I don't think they're going to get down under 2. The real danger of not playing your drain is when they get down to 1 card in hand and then you've missed it. Yeah, we could also just play it as a swamp. Maybe we should do that. It'd be a grown-up. And then we could also do the Mind Drain. So play this as a swamp and then Mind Drain. Yeah, I'm into that. But let's start with an attack. Because, yeah, if they give us a Subtle Strike opportunity here, we'll take it. So this is a good drain. I like getting, you know, half their cards at 4 is going to be a pretty good chunk. One of the reasons drain has been better in this format compared to many others is that people don't have lands to ditch the way they used to, because their lands are things like Glasspool Mimic. So often both lands and spells are similarly valuable to an opponent, and so they don't have the play that you often have against a discard 2, which is, oh, well, I'll get rid of these lands I don't need. All right, we get Subtle Strike. Oh, we don't get Subtle Strike and Scavenger because we only have the 2 black, but next turn we get to mimic a scavenger without any black, and we'll have the subtle strike up. So that's cool. And I'm going to play this now. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. The Skulker trades no matter what. Shade can't block. These can't block here. And we have 13. What did I do, math? Right. That's fair. That's fair. I forgot landfall after combat with the shade. But the thing is, yeah, we're still fine if they do that. But I definitely should have. No, it's a punt though. This is not the way to do it, because it does affect. The thing is, it doesn't affect this turn because I'm playing this scavenger no matter what. But it's a mistake to do it, right? I mean, you want to give yourself all options. But it's not a punt that actually changed anything. It's only a punt of awareness. Because if I had seen it, I would have gone, doesn't matter. Not replaying that anyway, right? Yeah, but I don't even want... like, no matter what, I was going to play Scavenger. So the punt there is not the play. The punt there was the lack of processing the options. Well, that's too bad, because now we can't mimic it. And just like that, we have... careful considerations now. But Subtle Strike actually gives us good play here. We're going to pass. I could mimic one of these, but we're going to hold on Subtle Strike. We could attack, I suppose, but then we can't block... Are we just racing? Because we send in for 2. They go to 4. They can crack back for 5 and bring us to 3. So yeah, we could do that too. We could just Skulker and copy Skulker and then have Strike for next turn. That's pretty good. All right, yeah, let's do that. I think I'm being a little too conservative given the life totals. And the fact that with the Menace thing here, we're not successfully blocking that well anyway. We put ourselves into a real bad spot if they have removal. Now they may have to stay back. And we do have a double block here on this thing. That's good. But it's still not... does not enable them to attack. Not with both, anyway. Royal Mage is nice because at least we could get a chump back, but they're on a forced block here that's gonna turn this into a 2/2 and this into a 3/3. So we're gonna beat this combat with a Subtle Strike. Did they just lose? I don't think they just lost, but but we have a good Subtle Strike here, and then we follow with Royal Mage. And Royal Mage can, well, I guess, yeah, we're not dead to their 5 crackback. So again, we're taking some risk here. But we also get to shrink it with a Subtle Strike, so they're not going to get as big a creature as they think. That'll help as well. Yeah, they get a 3/3. Is it always a 3/3? No, it's counters on it, and Subtle Strike is literally going to remove... Oh, it's one... Sorry, I was thinking it was a -1 counter. You're right. My bad. But you see what I was thinking? In the... there are formats that actually have -1 counters, and they act like matter, antimatter with +1 counters. That's what I was thinking was going to happen, but that's not what's going on here. Regardless, they get a 3/3, but we still win combat. I don't think save the strike, because, I mean, we have Royal Mage, and even their total power doesn't actually stop it, and it's a 3/3. It's not an 0/0 with counters, so it doesn't even have Menace. Yeah, I'm just playing the Mage here. We just want... I mean, this is both... Now we have 3 lethal creatures and a blocker if they try to do something, and we can just, like, if they send in, we'll just block the 3/3 under the presumption that they might have something here. Right now we got it. Oh shoot, they got it. Never mind. They put a +1 counter on it. Very nice, Oppo. I don't know if they just drew that or whatever, but that was perfect. That was a good game. I'm not gonna get too bent out of shape on that one. It was a fun back and forth, and Oppo found a nice line. I'll give you one of these, though.
Is this a dead man, Doctor? Very dead, Mr. Spock.
Certainly that's the first time I've seen Scale the Heights produce a literally game-winning play when they were going to lose without it. Like, that's something else. Because they were absolutely going to lose without that. Great keep here, though. Start on Shade again. Ideally, we go Shade into something, into hold up anti-cog with a Skulker, you know? Like, we want a 3-drop here. There we go. Perfect. Heights is not unplayable, no. But that's the first time I've seen it be a contribute to a literal game swinger. You know, flipping it, turning a loss. That's the first time I've seen it directly turn a loss into a win. Subtle Strike, amazing pickup here. Although I'm going to hold... Oh, I almost did it. But I will just attack with a Shade again. The Shade is so great because I just don't care what they do. Like, what a awful feeling for Oppo. It's like, yeah, you can block it. You wanna? And then you're like, well, I can't. He just replays it. This is the agony that this card produces in your opponents when you can get it out early. And of course, this is best case scenario, turn 2. Turn 2 in a tempo aggro situation. Could save this as a land, but I'm going to be greedy. I like this. Yeah, Moss Pit costs you a draw. I mean, that's huge, Radian. Moss Pit costs you a draw to get it going again. Shade doesn't. Yeah, Swamp would be nice, but we do get the Skulker anti-cog or strike anti-cog situation I was hoping for. Or replay Shade if they kill the Shade, trade for the Shade here. Okay, I think I didn't even do the math. I just assumed this was going to be a blowout if they did this, right? Because we go 3/4, and then they have suddenly 3 power, and we just wreck them hardcore. Good news, Oppo. You got some life out of that. Now I'm going to counter their next creature, and they're going to scoop. Nice, True. Glad to hear that. I'm hearing these bittersweet reports of incredibly long lines for early voting, which means that people are voting. Yay. But there are problems with voting. Boo! Ah, we got this. You're worried about this? We're fine. Let's go Skulker and still hold up Anti-Cog, though. Well, we could just do the Royal Mage. Yeah, we could just do Royal Mage. Should we do that? Yeah, I'll do that. Duoist. I didn't have the mana. We only had two. We had 2 blue. And they gotta deal with the shade at some point, and now this is where it's so great. Like, they either trade for the shade or they don't. Either way, I'm happy because we get for 3, or we just make a 5/3 coming up. And look at me remembering. This is a bomb. It's just a bomb. And they can do it again, and we can do it again. All right, they got that one. I mean, there's an argument for, like, holding up Anti-Cog, but it's not a pure counter yet, so I'm just going to still go with the shade. Like, yeah, we could not kick it and play... Yeah, let's do that. Let's do not kick it and play the Skulker and have Anti-Cog. I think that's correct. But that's true. Felidars can't kill it if we kick it. Interesting. This is an interesting choice. Getting some different feedback from chat on this. Some want to kick, some want to go all out. I think we kick it. Yeah, I'm going to kick it.
Can I kick it? Yes, you can. Can I kick it? Yes, you can. Well, I'm going.
Graveyard's at 6. Oh, Vanquish for the blowouts? Sure. Now I feel the need to play Skulker over holding up Anti-Cog because each of our creatures will be lethal. Now if they find land to make a 2/2 and then a spell... All right, Jinx, you're right. Shade is terrible on defense. This is. It's funny because we're crushing them with our shade, and their shade is exactly the wrong thing at the wrong time, right? You were right, though. I mean, we got a great example of your issue with the card, right, Jinx? Like, Oppo got it in a bad spot. All right, 5 wins. That's profit, right? You get the profit meme. Yeah, offensive bomb. But it's good even in control decks where you wouldn't think you need offensive bombs just because it's so inevitable. I would play it even if I were playing a heavy control deck because I see it as inevitability. It's only not inevitable if they have 6 toughness or enchantment-based removal. Here it is again, though. Great opener, and we even picked up our 4th land and 2nd island, so we're cruising with this one. Could get this countered. Okay, Thought Thief, we're going to vanquish that. That'll be our turn 3 play, is getting rid of this thief. We're going to give up an island and a skulker here. Pretty good for them, but now we get to vanquish and move on. I suppose I could have gone Sky Dancer and then have Skulker next turn, but I wanted the air support. I like having the Sky Dancer. Takes us off of a 2-spell turn 4 currently, but... almost did that again. We're going to wait. We might want to recast the Shade if they do something to kill it. Just so. They don't even want to kill it, they just want to make it smaller anyway. 2-1 is not going to block their duelist. I could play the Skulker, but yeah, we'll just dance at the end of their turn. Ouch. We're going to get rid of Swamp and Skulker, though, and have the Dancer. Mind drained twice, but withstanding it reasonably here. Biggest problem is how it takes out our ability to replay our Shade. Another Dancer. We're going to go ahead and offer the Shade trade, even though we don't have the land. Because we'll get one eventually. You can't have too many of them, though. Like, we're about to cast our final card. If they've got more of these, it's not great for them.
Can I kick it? Yes, you can. Can I kick it? Yes, you can. Well, I'm going.
Royal Mage as 2-1, given that we are 2 lands away from kicking. If we do get the kick, though, what do we get out of it? We get back Vanquish, or Mind Drain, or Subtle Strike. I think since it trades with the Priest, we just drop the Royal Mage here. Kruzika's on holding it. I felt like we were too far away to worry about saving it for that value. I mean, if we go land, I will somewhat regret it, but if we go land, it means we get our Skyclave back, so I'm cool with that too. Might have their own Sky Dancer here, that's what I'm thinking. No? We're already blocking, so... Maybe... Subtle Strike. No, Royal! Okay. Alucardio doesn't want to send the 2-1. You wanna... Why not? I'm just trying to apply life total pressure. I'm curious what you're thinking is there, because I wasn't seeing it. Well, yeah. I mean, are we really just never attacking into a Blood Priest because we were afraid they might reanimate it? I mean, if they had a whole field full of wizards and warriors and whatnot, I'd be a little more afraid, but this I'm not afraid of that reanimating right now, even. All right, we get our Skyclave going, but we can do that after combat. Let's see if they have anything for these Sky Dancers. There we go. That's fine. That's fine. You spend that on that so that we can spend this on this. Nice, nice. That's one way to handle a shade, huh? Still, we get 2 Skulkers, so we're going to get it back. Not even that big a deal. If we can keep one of these. Actually, we have so many rogues that should be able to keep one of these Skulkers for the shade. Do we even care? I guess maybe I don't even care. Yeah, it goes to our graveyard. I'm wondering if I even care if we just race here. Yeah, I should do it. Chimero says wait. I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna we're not killing. If we were representing lethal on the crackback, sure, but they're also gonna play a creature to defend. Like, I want this back in our yard. We're blocking. Nice.
Tiny bubble, make me happy.
Well, it's a force block on the Skulker. We'll take it. Duelist is a sneaky game-winning point of damage if they come up with 1 Sky Blocker, for example. But nope, we got it. Nice. We're on 6 now. I'm behind on my record. I think that was win number 6. Yeah, I should rename this deck Serious Shade. Thanks, D. Yeah, it's been a good run no matter what happens now. If we lose a couple in a row, I'm going to be very happy. I can't remember. I did par poll it. Does anybody remember where it par polled? I don't think we were too psyched about this deck, but our bomb has really come through by being in our opener every time. We don't have black this time, though. Do we keep that? This is so good that it's probably worth keeping on the hope that we find a swamp in the next. I don't know, though. Maybe it's being greedy. We're certainly going to be up against a good deck. We have a Duelist, though, so if they get a good start, I'm going to keep, because we have Snare and Duelist. Yeah, exactly. That's basically what Fenor is saying. We can keep it because no swamp in the first couple draws isn't even a disaster. So there is a Duelist move there for us, and we are still short swamps, so we hope that Oppo gets frisky with that Blood Priest. Yeah, I don't know. We're up in the higher ranks here. It's possible they just won't attack. I've been better about playing around Duelists and try to not do it if I don't have something like a Subtle Strike of my own, But they did it, and they cleared it out that it's a easy eat for us. talking to me? Yeah, I was using Duelist as removal, not as... but I think I should play the Royal Mage, right? Oh, you're saying, would I not attack? I guess I wouldn't with a creature this small. Like, I would be willing to trade off a Blood Priest. It's like, okay, your Duelist, your 1-drop Duelist got my 2-drop. That's not the worst. So maybe they do it anyway, but... my point is, I at least think about it more than I used to. If they send an attack, I'm throwing that Royal Mage in front so fast. All right. Could bubble something, no kick. I don't see the reason to do that. Royal Mage also suiciding into the Rogue is not good bluffs. We're just going to hold back. I might send the Rogue, and I might throw everything on it, just because if they have a Subtle Strike or a Trick or whatever, I don't even really care that much. Yeah, actually what we're going to do is trade for the Electromancer and then bubble the Minotaur, and then we can worry about the Rogue some other way. Argument for saving 5 life with a Duelist, but I don't think we need to. There's a swamp. Hello, friend. Now we're going to snare unkicked the Minotaur and decide what we want to do with our newly found black mana. We could play a Shade, but we're on the back foot, so this isn't the best time for Shade. It will have its time later. We have rogues. We could flash in a rogue to be on the attack, but I do want to threaten this rogue here. So I'm just going to play a Skulker. It gives us 3 points of toughness between the two creatures and a Death Toucher. So with no change right now, we're threatening to trade a Skulker for a rogue, which I'm willing to do. Mace doesn't add toughness, so still willing to trade both for that. They seem to know that. Now we have double swamp. I'm nervous about playing lands now because of the Shade triggers, but we don't even have it in the graveyard or anything, so it's not a problem here. We could just make a big Shade. We can make a 5/3 that's gonna... We have these on defense and then a 5/3 saying what you're gonna do. Let's do that. Why not? Kick it.
Can I kick it? Yes. Can I kick it?
Make him deal with it.
Well, I'm going.
Yeah, Skulker has Death Touch, but I'm not sure what you mean. Like, I'm just saying it's still 2 for 1 because we double block. The Death Touch works, but they get both of our blocks. It's got Menace, so we have to block 2. Almost did it. Almost did it. Get your punts right. Nope, not yet. Don't pump me yet. Let's send the Death Toucher and the Shade. And we have another Death Toucher behind. Well, it's weird when you draft a rare that tramples on all of your habits and heuristics. It's a fight to bend back the other way. Although not that my habit of running lands out there thoughtlessly is good for me anyway. Maybe I need to play Shade constantly until I stop playing my lands so hastily. Skulker gives us the same Death Touch block on the Rogue, and then we have Skydancer or Subtle Strike. I'm going to hold the Swamp for recovering our Shade should it die. Yeah, we're holding land for future Shade recursion since we don't need a 4th land doesn't get us anything for this turn. This seems a bit desperate. I don't know what's in hand here, but we do have the Subtle Strike ready in case of Trixie's from Oppo. If they have a Subtle Strikes basically negate each other. So we have the literal answer to a Subtle Strike in a Subtle Strike. Although, looks like it's not going to be needed. I'll take it. Maybe they're just looking to re-equip. Just basically turn the Ravager's mace into some sort of abyss of sorts. But here we get to Skydance and keep our aggro going. Oh, I don't know. I'm just... my point is, if they do nothing, we're thrilled. I don't know what a Subtle Strike does, but if they have a Subtle Strike, I know that we get to undo theirs with ours. That's all I was saying. Whatever it does do, we could undo it. Yeah, you know what I mean. I was just happy that having a Subtle Strike meant that it nullified one of theirs for sure. And anti-cog is nice too. They're at 7. If we have to, I can Subtle Strike in response to whatever they cast so that we can anti-cog at 8. So killing... Oh, but I'd have to kill something. Yeah, so actually we don't have the 8 we need to hard counter something, but still looks pretty good. Rocket with opinions as usual. Yeah, they're pretty dead right now if the Subtle Strike resolves. So, do you go for the kill here? Because if they do have something in response and they blow out the the Subtle Strike, that's kind of annoying. But we do have a Wind Robber to follow. I'm going to go for the win, knowing that we have good tools if this doesn't work. Oh, you want it on the ground? Yeah, this is smaller. Did I put myself in like a spike field? And they had it either way. But again, I liked my reasoning. We could take that risk because we have Wind Robber, and in fact, we have Wind Robber and Anti-Cog now all set. So this is fine. Yeah, we'll just cog that. And we even get... Yep, there you go. Doesn't matter. We did it, gang. A nice 7-1. How about that? I'm going to even update my record for the celebration. Gosh, got a 7-1 with a rogue deck I didn't think was 7 wins after yesterday getting... well, it was... yeah, we did a... had a red-green draft that went 7 wins recently. I suppose I have to allow bitch if one of my memes contains it. That's about as PG-13 as we get around here. About as R as we get. Yeah, good run. Deck maybe better than we thought, or maybe just Skyclave was as good as we thought. Like, it seems like I won a lot of games off the rare. Pack 2, pick 2. So, yeah. Good deck, good game. I'll add this to decks for play potential later. We got booster packs, we got gems. Are we at 10? Oh, we're at, yeah, on this account we're at 14. Remember, this is our paid account. This isn't our main account, but there we go. I think this means I've gotten my, like, all 3 of my accounts up into platinum, right? Am I platinum here? Yeah, at least all of my draft accounts are now platinum. All right, I could extend this stream for a half hour to whatever, but you know, I've actually got a dental appointment at 1, so in an hour and a half I'm going to be in a dentist chair. I'm going to go get my life together here for the rest of the afternoon, and I'll give you a report on my teeth tomorrow. I haven't gone to the dentist since the pandemic, and I was in the middle of, as an old person, I got crowns, and I had a root canal, and I got 2 more crowns waiting for me. So we're going to go reassess my crown situation today. Yeah, I'll let you know all about my crowns tomorrow. But today we get the 7-win crown. That was fun. Bye, everybody.